Now in 4 News Now at 6, downtown Spokane in crisis. We have team coverage of what the mayor is doing to try to lower crime in the area. Plus, what could stand in the way of her plan.
You'll want to keep an eye on the sky for the northern lights tonight, but clouds might ruin your view. I'm tracking when you'll have the clearest shot to catch the out-of-this-world light show.
And a controversial religious group will be protesting outside of 2 local schools tomorrow, what the East Valley School District is doing to minimize the impact on students. You're watching 4 News Now at 6. Well, Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown says downtown is in the middle of a crisis. That's why her administration is launching a pilot program to address things like the rampant drug use and property crime happening in the heart of the city. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. Kirsten O'Connor has the night off. We have team coverage tonight. Madeline Mullins spoke to people who live and work downtown and what they think needs to be done to clean up the streets. But we begin with Hunter Bertram on how the city plans to achieve this goal. Hunter?
Yeah, Derek, the city plans to ensure a safer downtown through more policing and resources. And we know that as soon as Monday, SPD could increase patrolling the downtown area by 120%, as outlined in the new core plan.
It's been clear ever since I took office that there's frustration out there about the level of or perceived or real level of criminal activity, and in particular downtown.
On Thursday, Mayor Brown announced the city's new plan to clean up downtown's act.
The perception that safety is waning and that intervention is necessary.
So in partnership with the city, SPD, SFD, and behavioral health partners, they came up with CORE, the Crisis Outreach Response and Engagement Plan.
It's a place-based strategy, and when I say place-based, it means we looked at the data to determine where are the micro-locations that are causing the biggest issue downtown.
By using data from police calls, reports, and crime check, intervention teams will target specific resources in the downtown core. With that, SPD is increasing patrols downtown and having visible officers. Chief Hall tells me it won't affect day-to-day operations, as they plan to pay overtime to officers who participate in the plan.
We looked at the overtime savings and said we can carve out some of that, certainly not all of it, but some of that to achieve what we want to do here.
And this additional policing could begin Monday, but Mayor Brown's plan for behavioral health resources in this program will have to wait for approval by City Hall. Yeah, and that approval would be the allocation of funds and resources to embed behavioral health partners into intervention teams. And so far, Council President Wilkerson, alongside Council Member Klitsky, Navarrete, Dillon, and, Zappone, are all in favor of the policy. Live in downtown Spokane, I'm Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
Hunter, thank you. With the announcement of the city's core plan, people who live and work downtown are excited that some of the problems they've been dealing with will finally be addressed. Madeline Mullins spoke with people downtown today. And Madeline, what are they saying about this plan?
Yeah, Derek, people downtown are feeling hopeful that this plan will help tackle some problems. One woman actually told me that she is stoked. She said she feels the problems downtown have been ignored for quite some time, and that with this new plan, it doesn't feel like that anymore. The CORE pilot program's goal is to help those in the downtown community feel safe. Pia Hallenberg, who lives and works downtown, thinks this program is a good start to doing just that.
We are super excited about this plan because we feel like we're being seen for the first time in a long time.
The program would use data to know where cops should be patrolling and at what times of the day.
Many of us live downtown, we work downtown, and the lack of attention to policing in the downtown core has really been a big issue for us.
Hallenberg says a few issues and places come to mind when she thinks of the downtown.
It's the open drug use. I've lived and worked downtown for the last 20 years, and I have never, ever seen this much open drug use.
She says that large amounts of human waste and mental health crises are big problems as well. She is not the only one who thinks so. In a statement from the Downtown Spokane Partnership, it said that public safety and cleanliness are some of the problems affecting downtown.
They're having some kind of meltdown on a street corner, and I think that's actually inhumane to let people stand in that way and, bang their heads against the walls or whatever. So there has to be a way to deal with that.
With the CORE program, the city will have people from Behavioral Health Unit and the CARES team find resources for specific needs.
I think it takes collaboration. It really takes collaboration from a lot of different organizations.
For Hallenberg, this program is a step in the right direction to fix the problems downtown. Hallenberg also told me that she wants to rally together others in her neighborhood to help the city come up with solutions, saying that the only way forward is if everyone works together. Live in downtown Spokane, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
Madeline, thank you. We'll take a look at these amazing photos of the Northern Lights taken earlier today in Maine. You'll have a chance to see them for yourself tonight, but might be some clouds in the way, possibly. Huh?
Yes, well, hopefully this will be strong enough that it will overcome some of the cloud cover, but it is not ideal. Northern Lights viewing conditions, our downtown view here, you can see a fair amount of cloud cover there, as well as some jet contrails. Those will fade out, but we do have more clouds on the way. Bit of good news, our clearest skies will be early in the evening and with a sunset at 6:10. It should be dark enough to see some things by about 7 o'clock. Satellite shows that the further south you go, the more clouds you're going to encounter. The further north you go, the more likely you will find the clear conditions, especially as you head north and west. And of course, we're looking to the north for the best view of the Northern Lights. Our forecast satellite shows more clouds streaming into the south of Spokane over the Palouse and the central Panhandle. By about 2 a.m., those clouds will overtake a good portion of the region. So you don't have to stay up into the middle of the night to see the Northern Lights. The best chance to find the clear skies will be earlier in the evening, though it's not a school night for a lot of kids in school district, Spokane School District. Friday at 4 a.m., don't bother, I wouldn't think, getting up early to see the lights. We're going to have a fair amount of clouds to start the day. Hour by hour, 58 degrees at 7 o'clock with partly to mostly clear skies through about 9. We'll see a few more clouds developing around 10, 11 o'clock, and then things become mostly cloudy by around 1 a.m. And then perhaps a little bit of clearing by the time the morning commute gets underway. Morning low of 38 degrees. I'll be back in just a few minutes to tell you about how these clouds will impact your Friday forecast and tell you about a wonderful weekend in your 7-day outlook. Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you. A man is now in the Latah County Jail for trying to kill his own father. Moscow police say 35-year-old Dylan Thompson held down his 73-year-old father and stabbed him multiple times. The victim is currently being treated in the hospital. Dylan is now facing second-degree murder and burglary charges. Well, millions of Social Security recipients will be getting a slightly larger check starting in January. The Social Security Department announced people will be getting a 2.5% cost of living increase. That translates to an average of an extra $50 a month for retirees. Well, you might have another chance to see the Northern Lights tonight. Meteorologist Matt Gray explains why it's becoming more common to see the Aurora Borealis lately. That's coming up in about 20 minutes.
I've lived here all my life. I've never seen anything like this.
Thousands in Florida are returning home to find their homes flooded because of Hurricane Milton. We'll introduce you to one of the local 50 local Red Cross volunteers heading to the southeast to help those who've lost everything. And hundreds of thousands of ballots are now being mailed out in Spokane County, but many have a hard time understanding them. We'll show you how local organizations are stepping up to remove barriers for Americans who use English as their second language. Next on 4 News Now at 6.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV.
Save your greed! Across our state, we have roads and bridges in desperate need of repair. But Initiative 2117 would make things even worse, slashing funding for infrastructure, putting all of us at risk. 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
My name is Stephen, and this is my Summit Cancer Center story. I had a large tumor in my left lung in November of 2018. We went through in 2020 doing a lot of end-of-life planning. Summit was very aggressive in my treatment of diagnosis. Since then, with my recovery, we're doing a lot of life events. I love the people there. I would recommend Summit Cancer Center. My wife calls it a miracle.
You're kidding me. Let's settle this whole ordeal quickly, yeah?
Why do we trust this guy again?
We get you compensated fairly and don't receive a penny until after you're paid.
One call, that's all.
509-999-9999.
What's all this?
You said it was a recovery day. I got my yoga mat, foam roller, electrolytes, and protein bars. The whole setup.
Refrigerant recovery, Ben. We're recovering the refrigerant to fix the heat pump.
Oh, right. I knew that. Want a protein bar?
Get a free heat pump with every furnace purchase at Bill's Heating and AC while supplies last. Call now.
Electrolyte?
Ben, take the robe off.
Deer Unleashed. No one knows the feeling of freedom quite the way you do. But damned if we don't come really, really close. Let's break the chain. Yours, Tundra.
Right now, you can lease a new 2024 Tundra for just $469 per month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
The 4-day mattress clearance is on now at Walker's.
Save big on Beauty Rest and Serta sets. Or grab the hot clearance deals and say yes to no money down, no minimum purchase, and no interest financing.
Today through Monday at Walker's.
For us, protecting the land means everything. It's our homestead and legacy. But Initiative 2117 puts our air and water at risk, and cuts to transportation funding will make it harder to move products. 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
Washington voters will get their ballots in the mail by next week, and it can be a long and complicated process. But imagine trying to vote and not understanding your ballot. It's a reality for many here in Eastern Washington. In tonight's For the People coverage, Marissa Rio shows us what one local organization is doing to make sure every voter has the information they need.
It's a process most of us take for granted, that voting is fundamental to American democracy.
This is how we use our voice to decide who will be in charge of our country, who will be running our country.
But for the people in this room, the voting process is more complicated.
I learned that people were not voting because there are barriers to voting.
On this Friday afternoon in Spokane, these immigrants and refugees are learning about the voting process.
I've been receiving these envelopes at my home. They are there, but I did not understand them.
Justin Kanumuna is from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and he's been in the U.S. for more than 5 years. This is the first time he can vote. But he'll do so not in his native Swahili, but in English, on a ballot that isn't translated. While the state of Washington has voter registration forms in over 20 languages, the ballots in Spokane County are only made in English. According to the Voting Rights Act, cities or counties must translate ballots and other voting information if more than 10,000 people, or 5% of the voting age citizens who speak that other language, have low literacy rates and don't speak English well. In Spokane County, no specific community meets that criteria, so here, ballots aren't translated.
I brought that to the attention of our local League of Women Voters, and we decided that we would get translated sample ballots.
League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan grassroots organization that works to protect and expand voting rights. This year, the Spokane chapter translated the county's general election ballots in 9 different languages. Beyond those efforts,
and you fill in these tiny little ovoids.
The League also partnered with other local organizations to host workshops like this, with translators in several different languages, including Swahili for people like Justin.
Put it in the security envelope. Seal it up.
The workshops cover everything from how to register to vote, how to seal your ballot in the envelope, what ballot drop boxes are, and more.
When it comes to the language that is not yours, you have to make sure that they take you through the process like what we did today. It has made me understand quite well what I have to do when it comes to November 5th.
Mimi nilifurahiwa sana kwenye hiyo
He said he was so happy to learn how to vote, how to choose the person who can lead us.
The League also partnered with the local nonprofit Manzanita House to host workshops like this one in Spanish. One participant moved to the United States from Peru in 2017. She'll be voting in her first presidential election this year.
It's great to hear about like the challenges of voting, how to overcome those challenges, what he says our information are required, even like just to take a look at your voters pamphlet, which is something I hadn't received in the past and didn't know I can actually look at.
The League of Women Voters translated Spokane ballots into these 9 languages for this upcoming election. Voters can find them online or through community organizations.
It's important to note that these translated ballots are just a resource for voters to understand the official ballots provided by the county. If voters use these, they will have to put them side by side with the English ballot and mark the official ballot. It's this ballot that voters will have to mail in or drop off here at any of these ballot drop boxes.
League of Women Voters hopes that one day the county will provide official translated ballots to people directly.
So then they wouldn't have the laborious process of putting the translated sample ballot in its 5 pages next to this ballot they receive in the mail, and then going back and forth and figuring out how this relates. And then they can have even more confidence when they vote that they know what they're doing.
Confidence like you see in Justin, ready to cast his vote.
And I want to participate to the great nation. My vote is gonna count as well. I'm gonna feel proud to put my vote down and to know that my vote contributes to build the United States as well.
It was so nice to see how excited people in our community are to go out and vote. It'll be nice to see if the county is ever able to send out these translated ballots to people directly.
I got to say, Justin is my guy. I love how excited he is to vote. So why don't they do that now?
Well, for one, there's risk. These languages have many different dialects, so it's hard for the county to decide which dialect to translate these ballots in. And the other thing is cost. It's very expensive, so hopefully one day they'll be able to do that.
All right, Marissa, thank you so much for that story. For more information on how to access those translated ballots, you can visit our website at KXLY.com. Well, right now, both presidential candidates are doing what they can to gain more support from Latino voters. Experts saying they could be the deciding factor on who ends up in the Oval Office.
They trust Trump more on the economy and immigration. Also, more and more Latinos are joining evangelical congregations where former President Trump has a lot of support.
A recent poll showing Kamala Harris carrying 54% of registered Latinos compared to 40% for Donald Trump. But the vice president's 14-point advantage is actually the lowest it's been for a Democratic candidate in the past 4 presidential elections. That poll also shows Latino voters prefer Harris's temperament. But on the matters they care about most, they're turning to Trump.
Latinos are the second largest voting cohort with 36.2 million eligible voters. That's 4 million more than in 2020, and they have huge numbers in most of the battleground states.
With less than a month until Election Day, time is running out for both candidates to try to persuade this key group of voters. As you get ready to cast your vote this upcoming election, Spokane County officials are making sure their ballot machines are running correctly. Scanning test ballots, it may seem like a tedious task, but it's an important part of ensuring the integrity of our election system. To test ballot machines, test ballots are run through the system, scanned, and then counted as election observers watch. A representative from the Secretary of State's office also observes. They're given a paper with what the results should be and make sure their numbers match with what the machines show. And if there are issues,
we would investigate it as to why it was inaccurate, and most of the time it's human error, is something going on. The tabulators have been spot on since I've been doing this.
In today's test, the machines proved to be accurate.
Here's a look at your Friday forecast. It is not going to be a sunny day. Filtered sunshine with partly to mostly cloudy skies. 38 to start the day with a high of 67. Those clouds are not going to keep our temperature from climbing above average. 61 is our average high. We're going the opposite direction in the forecast. I'll tell you about a warm, sunny weekend after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Parker Toyota.
From the ages of 13 to 15, I experienced childhood sexual abuse, and
and the abuse ended when I became pregnant. I made the choice to end my pregnancy. In Congress, Dave Reichert voted to ban abortion nationwide. He voted against exceptions. Reichert said as governor, he would work to unravel protection for abortion access here, and I think that is cruel. If Reichert becomes governor, I believe women are in danger. He's wrong for Washington.
Nestled in the heart of the Inland Northwest is a community of dedicated workers. They rise with the sun, their hands shaping the land we call home. They nourish our communities with their unwavering commitment. At Adams Tractor, we believe their hard work deserves to be celebrated. In this year's Tribute for Our Farmers, Adams Tractor extends a heartfelt thank you to those who ensure our tables are full. Through every season and every condition, your dedication never falters. From our family to yours, thank you. A tribute for our Inland Northwest farmers, brought to you by Adams Tractor.
The 4-day holiday clearance is on now at Walker's.
Take advantage of special pricing on quality furniture throughout the store. Or say yes to no interest, no minimum purchase, and no money down financing.
Today through Monday at Walker's.
Are you ready to stay for less and play for more? The Kootenai Casino has low room rates and our most exciting gaming yet. Book now to get your deluxe room at the Kootenai Falls Lodge for just $99 every midweek night in October. And join us for October Hot Spins, Weekend Super Spins, and catch the game Monday nights. Win big in October. Book your getaway at the Kootenai Casino today. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Stay ahead of your child's moderate to severe eczema. And they can show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your child's skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your child's eczema specialist about Dupixent.
All right, welcome back. Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker is here, and I think we're all excited about what's coming this weekend.
Yes, we have got some beautiful, sunny, warm weather, and tomorrow is actually going to be above average with the temperatures as well. Live conditions, we do have some high and mid-level clouds. Sun is already set in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. It's 61 degrees in Spokane with some clouds. They make for a pretty sunset, but if you're ready to go out and see the aurora, they may impact your view a little bit. 57 in Coeur d'Alene, clear at the airport, but you can see some clouds on the horizon looking over the Veterans Memorial Bridge on I-90. 4 things to know about your weather. We do have a good shot of seeing the northern lights tonight. We're going to talk a lot more about that in the next half hour. Some high cloud cover, obscuring your view in spots. Mostly cloudy skies on Friday, and we're heading into a sunny, warm weekend. Something to look forward to. High pressure is building in for the weekend. That's going to send our temperatures to almost 15 degrees above average. Keep the clouds away. And then we get into next week, and look what is waiting in the wings. We have got a cold front moving through an upper level trough. And as I look at this, I'm thinking to myself, this looks like late fall. This looks like a system that could have a pretty good impact on things and usher in some larger scale changes. In the short term, in our high temperature trend, we are headed to temperatures well above average Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in the mid-70s. This white line way down here is our average high, which will be deep into the 50s by this time next week. But we will also be down in the 50s by this time next week. A temperature drop, and it looks like that trend is going to continue. Our 8 to 14-day forecast, it's not a strong signal, but we are in that light blue and a little bit of a medium blue for above average precipitation. That would certainly be a good thing. We need that precipitation. Overnight lows tonight, 30s and 40s in most locations, 27 in Colville, 52 in Lewiston, a couple of the exceptions. Friday's highs, 60s just about everywhere. We'll be in the 70s in St. Mary's and awfully close to the 70s in many locations, including Meade and 9 Mile and downtown Spokane and Spokane Valley, all checking in at the top end of the 60-degree range. Bright blue skies through the weekend and into early next week, and then a good chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday as that system moves through. Some of the best hope for some precipitation we've had in quite some time. This is our new trigger to remind you that we have the possibility of an aurora viewing. We do have a chance again tomorrow night. Doesn't look like it will be as strong as the show that we could potentially see tonight. But again, we'll have more on that coming up, Derek.
All right, still ahead, cutting class early to protect students from protesters. Why the East Valley School District says this is the best choice for the kids' emotional, mental, and physical health. Don't go away.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
I had surgery as a child that I barely remember. But decades later, the insurance company called that a pre-existing condition and denied me long-term care insurance. Washington State created a long-term care benefit to help millions of people like me afford the care we need. But I-2124 will take that benefit away, leaving millions with no way to get or afford long-term care. If it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. That's why we all have to vote no on I-2124.
This is important information from AARP and BECU. What comes to mind when you hear the phrase long-term care? The reality is that it comes in many forms depending on the situation. Washington State strives to support programs that allow aging adults to live in their own homes where they want to be. Whether it be health and personal care, transportation assistance, or support from our state's long-term care insurance program, there are many resources for our loved ones in addition to their caregivers. Find tools and tips at this website.
Dupixent can help people with asthma breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. So this is better, even this. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Tell your doctor right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Go to Lake Casino. At the Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
4 News Now is brought to you by Northwest Granite.
Please be careful, Dad.
Yeah, your shoes?
No, I don't even care about my shoes right now.
On your screen is video of Angie Dooley and her father fleeing their home in Daytona Beach as it started to flood because of Hurricane Milton. That is just one of the thousands of stories of survival across the state, with winds reaching over 180 miles per hour last night, making Milton the strongest hurricane ever so late in the season in the Gulf of Mexico. As of now, at least 10 people have died because of the storm. In this video, you can see the Coast Guard jumping into the ocean to rescue a man clinging onto a cooler about 30 miles offshore. The Coast Guard says the man took his boat out for repairs and was in contact with the Coast Guard before Milton made landfall. His boat eventually broke down on his way back to shore, meaning he was out at sea when Milton hit. Well, here in our region, more than 50 volunteers from the Red Cross have responded to help with hurricane relief efforts. Our Alexandra Cohen-Yard sat down with one of those volunteers and shares what inspires her to help.
While many flee away from the devastation of 2 hurricanes hitting the East Coast, others are running towards it to help those in need.
Volunteerism is in my bones.
Laura Warner is one of the tens of thousands of volunteers offering a helping hand during these difficult times. Thursday night, she deploys to Tallahassee, where she will serve as a disaster mental health volunteer.
When we have a disaster, whether it's a tornado, a flood, a hurricane, lava flow in Hawaii, you know, if I have the availability, I will go.
This isn't Warner's first experience with disaster volunteering. In fact, her first time volunteering after a hurricane was Katrina 19 years ago.
It's the most rewarding part of being able to volunteer and help with these disasters.
When you walk the streets and you're doing outreach out in the community and somebody says thank you. Somebody says thank you, somebody says, can I hug you? Sometimes it can just bring tears to your eyes because you were just there.
Many have had to evacuate their homes twice in 2 weeks, facing uncertainty about when they can return. More support is needed. Warner encourages you to consider how you can help. You can find more information on volunteering opportunities on our website at KXLY.com. In Coeur d'Alene, Alexander Conyards, 4 News Now.
Well, still ahead, the Cougs are hoping to come back from their bye week with a win against Fresno State on Saturday. Which players would make in their season debuts that could give them the edge on the road? That's coming up in sports. And 2 schools will be getting out early tomorrow because of protesters from a controversial religious group. Why the East Valley School District says it's to protect the students' mental and physical health. Next on 4 News Now at 6:30.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
We're fired up about our latest addition to Holiday Electrical Services. Electric fireplaces. A sleek modern design or a little classic charm, we have the fireplace to match your style and space. And the best part, no chimney needed. Call and schedule today. Holiday heating, cooling, and electric.
It's time for 4 News Now, Coats for Kids. Drop off new or gently used coats at any of our sponsored locations. We'll bring them to Alsco for professional cleaning, then get them out to local children in need. Donate Coats for Kids through October 31st.
Fred's Appliance is proud to partner with Coats for Kids, and we're giving you a chance to give back and win big. When you donate your coats, you'll be entered for a chance to win a beautiful Electrolux laundry set. You can drop off your coats at any of our Fred's Appliance locations.
It's a 4-day 4-wheel drive sale at both Cal locations. As Cal loads up the lot with tough, loaded SUVs and trucks, and for 4 days only drops their prices by $400.
Plus, giving you an extra $400 for your trade-in.
And $44 down is all you need.
When you live in the Pacific Northwest, then you better own a 4-wheel drive.
And today through this Monday, it's the best time to get a new 4-wheel drive at Cal.
Hello, I'm Mark Peterson. It's that time of year again when Washington Trust Bank helps you dispose of your sensitive documents and protect your identity with 4 easy steps.
First, drive to one of their 6 participating drive-through locations.
Second, fill your seal and shred bag with the documents that you want to destroy. Third, secure the seal and shred bag.
Then drop off your bag of debris where they will destroy your documents in their secure space.
Shred Day is Friday, October 18th from 9 to 5. Pick up your seal and shred bag at one of their 6 participating locations.
We're fired up about our latest addition to Holiday Electrical Services. Electric fireplaces. A sleek modern design or a little classic charm, we have the fireplace to match your style and space. And the best part, no chimney needed. Call and schedule today. Holiday heating, cooling, and electric.
Next, ET, our exclusive with CNN's Sarah Seidner for her final round of radiation treatment. Plus,
hi, I'm Peter Krause. This is my Entertainment Tonight career retrospective.
Next, watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in. I'm in.
I'm in too. I am in. I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be here.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6.
Well, students at East Valley Middle School and East Valley High School are getting sent home early tomorrow because of a planned protest. The group behind the protest has been coined a homophobic hate group by the Anti-Defamation League. Derek Strong spoke with the superintendent of the East Valley School District about preparing for these protests.
Now, these protests are scheduled to take place on Wellesley Avenue, right outside East Valley Middle School and High School, and that's a street many students here use to walk home from school. That's why the district and the superintendent are concerned for student safety. We don't want them to be a part of any of it, nor witness to any of it. The East Valley School District says local law enforcement told them about the Westboro Baptist Church planning a protest at East Valley High School earlier this week. A 2017 report from the Anti-Defamation League called the church a hostile, homophobic, and anti-Semitic hate group that regularly stages protests. The East Valley School District says it will have law enforcement around both campuses of East Valley Middle School and High School. Always the possibility of a counter-protest. And because of that and the timing of our release, we have made the decision to go 90 minutes earlier for a dismissal. The district will also excuse any parents that ask to keep their child home for the day. Any after-school activities that happen right after school ends have also been canceled. Talbot hopes all students and parents will avoid getting involved with the protesters. They video everything. They cut and splice and use the material any way that they so choose. Those videos live on in infamy once they're posted to whatever websites they use. According to the church's social media, they plan to protest at the high school because of a transgender athlete that competes there. Its social media page also says there are protests planned at Gonzaga, Spokane Community College, and a Christian conference that's being held at the Spokane Convention Center. In Spokane Valley, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
All right, here's a live look at a partly cloudy downtown Spokane, and those clouds could get in the way if you're trying to see the northern lights tonight. Let's send it over to Chris Crocker to see if the skies will clear for you.
Well, the further south you go, the more likely you're going to run into those clouds. That view was looking to the south. Here's the view looking west, and you can see that it does clear as you head further north. There are those high clouds, though, and those can be a real bummer. Here's the view right now looking down into the LC Valley with a fair amount of cloud cover, especially here we are looking to the south. Meanwhile, in Sandpoint, just a few high clouds, and that may be one of your best views. Again, heading to the north. The satellite shows that there is some clearing further north of Spokane, and then you'll find more clouds further to the south this evening. Your hour-by-hour forecast will be mostly clear this evening at 7, and then start to see the clouds increasing around 10. Things really go downhill in terms of visibility around 1 a.m. And if you get up early in the morning, there is a chance you could see a few hints of light. Now, the good thing is this aurora may be strong enough that the clouds won't be too much of an issue in spots. That's where meteorologist Matt Gray picks up our team coverage on this aurora.
All right, Chris, and based on the reports from the East Coast, this looks like the big one, and that would be the second time that we've had a really spectacular aurora that could be directly overhead of us this year, the way things are going. But take a look at this. Even on the low horizon, as far south as Florida, they've been able to see the northern lights, which, at least for tonight, are not so northern. Seen some pictures out of places like Virginia and Arkansas, where you can see it pretty clearly with the naked eye, even in urban areas. So based on those reports that I showed you in the green dots, this is approximately where the bulk of the aurora activity is. You head further south and it's low on the horizon, but I tell you what, we are right smack dab in the middle of the action here. And so as our skies continue to darken tonight, I do think that you will probably see something, even if it's just through the holes in some of the clouds, if you do have a cloud cover come over later on this evening. So here is the aurora forecast. Here we are. This solar storm started very early this morning, and it has basically not stopped at all as we've gone through the rest of the day, expecting this to continue for at least a few more hours before some gradual weakening here as we head later on into the night. This forecast from the Space Weather Prediction Center. But as long as everything breaks the right way, this should be easily visible at times throughout the night. To maximize your chances, turn off the lights, get out of town. It's probably a good time, a good night as any to make an effort and find a dark sky and get away from the house. Try your phone's camera. It'll help accentuate the colors. The earlier in the night you are, the more likely you are to see something just based on how early this storm arrived during our day. So right about 7:30 or so, that should be when it starts to get dark enough, and letting your eyes adjust, you should be able to see at least something and perhaps see something almost as spectacular as that solar storm that we had back in May. So good luck, and you can see updates from our 4 News Now weather app. I'll be doing that throughout the night, looking for little pings in the data that may brighten up the aurora. You could also share your aurora photos with us on the 4 News Now weather app. Tap over to the menu and click share your photos. You can do it right from your phone. Good luck. We'll see you out there.
Some pretty great tips, and if you'd like more stories like this one, you can take your phone out right now and scan this QR code on your screen. It'll take you to our website where you can sign up for Matt's newsletter. It's called The Brainstorm. Every week, he'll give you an in-depth look at the weather in the inland Northwest and the science behind it. Well, Maddie's Place is a nonprofit that shows the ripple effects of our region's drug crisis. It's a recovery nursery for infants suffering from withdrawals of substances they were exposed to in the womb. Substances like alcohol, nicotine, or opioids. The treatment facility has turned around the lives of dozens of families. And thanks to a $500,000 grant, they'll be able to help even more. Jordan Smith joins us with the story of one man's battle with addiction and how this grant will help double this facility's resources.
We were running the streets at a pretty young age, 12, 13, 14. First time using heroin was at 14.
This is David Aga, a lifelong Spokenite who grew up in a broken household.
So grew up with an alcoholic mom, like a severely alcoholic mom. My dad took off at a young age. Brother was a drug addict.
David became addicted to drugs by the time he was 17. A years-long battle with substance abuse ensued. Life changed when he had his first daughter.
Yeah, my daughter Deborah, yeah.
He came here to Maddie's Place.
And I was terrified, I'm gonna go here, just be judged, and it was at night, I was just terrified to come in here. Until the first time we did come here, and it was this like nothing you could possibly ever imagine.
Maddie's Place is a recovery center that helps infants with nasal abstinence syndrome, which is caused when babies go through withdrawal from drugs or substances that they were exposed to in the womb. Maddie's Place is one of 5 clinics of its kind across the country, and it's proven to be a lifeline for families.
Everything that's provided is free. Free room and board, free case management for the moms, free transportation.
The program also offers temporary housing for parents and infants. Thanks to this grant from the county, they're able to acquire nearly an acre of land next door, effectively doubling the size of their campus. And just to show you how big this expansion is, this is Maddie's Place right here behind me. That $600,000 grant is going to help them close on all of this property all the way to the end of this green fence here. It's $1 million purchase, and that grant is going to go a long way. This expansion means more resources to give families like David's a second chance.
Yeah, I've been clean for a year and a half, and that's something I haven't been for 19 years,
For 4 News Now, I'm Jordan Smith.
Well, Washington State has a tough matchup against Fresno State on Saturday, but the Cougs will be getting some extra help.
Yeah, 2 key players are returning for Washington State. How it impacts their strategy for the matchup against the Bulldogs, that's next in sports.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
It's time for the Svengoolie Halloween Bonanza, a full month of ghoulish goodies and haunting hilarity.
All October long on MeTV 4.2.
Across our state, we have roads and bridges in desperate need of repair. But Initiative 2117 would make things even worse, slashing funding for infrastructure, putting all of us at risk. 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
I got soul. Make me wanna dance.
The new Findlay Honda store downtown is rolling out year-end closeout deals on everyone's favorite Hondas.
I got soul.
Many great careers don't need a 4-year degree. They start out here. Bob Ferguson has a detailed plan to expand apprenticeships and on-the-job training like I had to give more Washingtonians the skills they need to succeed. And Bob will eliminate 4-year degree requirements for most state jobs, opening doors to more good-paying careers. I would support Bob Ferguson, even if he wasn't my kid brother, but it helps he listens to old machinists like me.
Bob Ferguson for governor.
ABC's World News Tonight at 4 News Now, when the local story is national news.
When national stories hit home, watch ABC World News Tonight at 5:30.
And 4 News Now at 6. That's what we mean when we say expect more.
This is a story of first downs and second chances.
I wanted to keep playing, but my feet hurt.
You'd think all those big league experts could have helped.
You have access to anything, but none of it worked.
His football career ended, but his plantar fasciitis pain didn't. Till he found the Good Feet store.
I got fitted for my arch supports. Let me tell you something. They work.
Now, he recommends Good Feet to
anybody. If you move, go to the Good Feet store.
So get moving. Come in for your free fitting.
The 4-day mattress clearance is on now at Walker's.
Save big on Beauty Rest and Serta sets. Or grab the hot clearance deals and say yes to no money down, no minimum purchase, and no interest financing.
Today through Monday at Walker's.
For us, protecting the land means everything. It's our homestead and legacy. But Initiative 2117 puts our air and water at risk, and cuts to transportation funding will make it harder to move products. 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
Well, the Seahawks are looking to snap a 2-game losing streak tonight, but it won't be easy. They're taking on the San Francisco 49ers at Lumen Field right now. Sports director Julian Minnesone joins us, and Julian, Seattle can't really afford another loss in that first half. Well, it left a lot to be desired.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Seattle sits in first place right now, but with all the injuries to the Niners and the Rams, well, they're underperforming as well. This is a good chance for the Seahawks to remain in that driver's seat for a playoff spot. But, yeah, unfortunately, things aren't going so well. Seattle trails at halftime 16-3. The only score for the Seahawks was a Jason Myers field goal at the end of the half. Now, they already have 2 turnovers as well, so we'll see if they can clean things up there in the second half. We'll have highlights and post-game reactions tonight on Nightside. Now, some extra reinforcements are coming to help the Washington State Cougars this weekend. Wide receiver Carlos Hernandez and cornerback Jamori Colson will make their season debuts at Fresno State. Both guys are not expected to play every snap. Head coach Jake Dickert wants them to ramp back up full time. Hernandez was dealing with a foot injury he suffered back in fall camp. Colson was also banged up during camp and was recovering from a reported broken jaw. And with both guys back on the field, it gives the Cougars some much-needed depth on both sides of the ball.
They've been looking good, too. I mean, Jamori's got fresh legs, naturally, and Los is just kind of locked in, and what can he add as we work him in to this offense, you know, because he's a guy that can be outside, he can be inside, he can do a bunch of different things.
One guy you won't see is running back Dylan Payne, who is out for the rest of the season with a torn ACL. Now, the bye week was a chance for Eastern Washington to get some much-needed rest. Games against an FCS opponent in Nevada and a top 10 Montana team took a lot out of the Eagles, and it doesn't get any easier going against a ranked Sacramento State team this weekend. A little rest and relaxation has been good for the guys.
You know, coming off a game like Montana and some of the games we've had prior in the season, it's good for us to get healthy, get this week off. Personally, I feel great coming back. Like, I was telling my coach yesterday when we were at practice, like, moving around, I just feel fresh. My legs feel good. So I'm hoping everyone else feels that same way.
And kickoff is at 6 o'clock on Saturday. Idaho will play its 5th straight ranked opponent when they take on number 3 Montana State on Saturday. The Vandals got their mojo back a little bit with that 23-17 win over Northern Arizona over the weekend. But the Bobcats are on a whole other level and will most likely be the highest ranked team in FCS that Idaho plays this season.
We're playing a great team, and we got to really play our best football to compete with these guys because they're very, very good, and it's going to be you know, a huge challenge because, you know, again, you look like the Oregon game. You know, Oregon players probably took us lightly, and these guys certainly aren't going to take us lightly.
And kickoff is at 7:15 on Saturday night. And former Washington State quarterback Cameron Ward is lending a helping hand. He's partnering with Leaf Trading Cards to help with hurricane relief efforts in Florida. 100% of all the trading cards sold, the Cam Ward trading cards that is, will be donated to help the hurricane victims. So cool thing that Cam is doing there. Derek.
All right, Julian, thank you very much. Well, Gonzaga is starting to put the final touches on their newest residence hall, located by that roundabout at Cincinnati and Sharp. This is a busy area for students to be parking their cars, which has the neighboring community worried about space. Mary Sheridan spoke with the university about how their partnership with Spokane Transit Authority may help everyone avoid a parking nightmare.
Gonzaga's new Mantua Hall is getting ready to welcome students in January. The newest addition, a parking lot. though not nearly big enough to match the 90 students moving in.
As Gonzaga's enrollment increases, students say that finding parking on campus is harder than ever. But since the introduction of these battery electric buses, moving through Spokane without a car has become easier than ever.
Jim Simon is the university's director of sustainability. He worked with the Spokane Transit Authority to ensure GU students, faculty, and staff could ride public transportation for free with their IDs. Since the City Line route opened last year, he says more than 15,000 student trips have been recorded, significantly more than previous years. Simon says the convenience is appealing to students.
They're also able to maybe consider using their car less and maybe having to worry about finding parking less because they're using those commute alternatives.
According to Gonzaga's Campus Security and Public Safety Office, there has been a noticeable decrease in the number of parking passes issued to students over the past 3 years. This is a small-scale example of the transit-oriented development STA wants to bring to the Division Corridor.
I wouldn't say the goal is to reduce reliance on the car as much as to make it easy for people to have the freedom not to have a car and to get around the region easily and accessibly without having to have a car.
Otterstrom says more permanent structures could help people trust public transit and potentially incorporate it into their routines.
People can rely on it when they buy a house, they sign a lease, and they also can make longer-term decisions about investment and development.
Reporting in Spokane, Mary Sheridan, 4 News Now.
Temperatures today climbed into the mid-60s, a little above our average high, which is now 61. Sunset was at 6:10. I'll be back with warmer weather in the 7-day forecast after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
We're not brother and sister.
We're not husband and wife.
She's not my daughter.
He's not just arm candy.
Hey.
What we are, we're advocates.
And so if you've been injured, we fight for you.
You deserve more than just a law firm.
You deserve an advocate.
What's all this? You said it was a recovery day. I got my yoga mat, foam roller, electrolytes, and protein bars. The whole setup.
Refrigerant recovery, Ben. We're recovering the refrigerant to fix the heat pump.
Oh, right. I knew that. Want a protein bar?
Get a free heat pump with every furnace purchase at Bill's Heating and AC while supplies last. Call now.
Electrolyte?
Ben, take the robe off.
From the ages of 13 to 15, I experienced childhood sexual abuse, and the abuse ended when I became pregnant. I made the choice to end my pregnancy. In Congress, Dave Reichert voted to ban abortion nationwide. He voted against exceptions. Reichert said as governor, he would work to unravel protection for abortion access here, and I think that is cruel. If Reichert becomes governor, I believe women are in danger. He's wrong for Washington.
With Chevy trucks, be ready for adventure. With power you can count on. Capability that doesn't compromise. A hard-working EV with more range than any competitor and the potential to take you anywhere. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Spokane and North Idaho's country leader. The big 99.9 Coyote Country.
Dr. Odyssey is making a steamy splash.
Full steam ahead.
It's the perfect escape and exactly what the doctor ordered.
Unresponsive patient.
Do we have a contagion on our hands?
Dr. Odyssey, tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Donnie, the advocates excel in car, truck, and motorcycle cases, resulting in millions of dollars for our clients.
That makes me sad.
Sad? Why sad?
Just thinking about the ones that don't bring their cases to us.
Oh, that is sad.
4 News Now is brought to you by Findlay Downtown Toyota.
I'm keeping an eye on those clouds that are draped over the primarily the southern portion of Spokane County, but they may interfere with your aurora viewing. I always have a hard time with my eyes figuring out, is that a wisp of a cloud or a wisp of an aurora? But it looks like this aurora will be strong enough that there will be no doubt. Coeur d'Alene right now, it is 57 degrees. 4 things to know about your weather. We do have a very good chance of the northern lights tonight. There's some high cloud cover to contend with, particularly as you head south of Spokane. Mostly cloudy skies on Friday, and then we head into a sunny, warm weekend. Hour by hour, your Friday forecast, 38 degrees to start the day. Light winds and mostly cloudy skies will be in the upper 40s by 10 a.m. Again, very still conditions. In and out of the clouds tomorrow, more clouds than sun, but you may get some filtered sunshine in the late morning and early afternoon. We'll be in the mid 60s by 2 o'clock. Our high temperature tomorrow, 67, 61 right now is our average high, but that average high is dropping quickly. Our temperature trend over the next 7 days, the average high is dropping quickly. Our daytime high, however, is not. We're going to be up in the mid 70s Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Not quite record territory, but certainly above average. And then a quick drop Thursday into the mid 50s. And that trend toward below average temperatures looks like it is going to continue. Friday's highs around the region will be in the 60s with a couple of spots in the 70s, right around the Spokane area, mid to upper 60s. And then we are into the 70s with sunshine for the weekend and into early next week. Finally, a good chance of rain in the forecast Wednesday and Thursday, and it looks like that trend may continue beyond the 7-day forecast as well. We do have another chance to see the aurora tomorrow night. It doesn't look as strong, but you might take your chances, see what you can see, and we will certainly keep you updated here on that aurora forecast as well, Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you. As we head to a break, here is a look at ABC's primetime lineup for tonight.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Take a journey through the magical stories of Frozen 2, Aladdin, and more at Disney on Ice presents Magic in the Stars. Coming to Spokane Arena October 18th through 20th. Tickets on sale now. For show details, visit DisneyOnIce.com today.
Who isn't looking for extra ways to save some money these days, right? I'm always looking for new ways to save, but I haven't found anything better than my Ascend checking account. It's a free account that offers 3.5% of your average monthly balance. That can feed your coffee obsession for 2 weeks. Not only am I earning money, but it also has all the best features of a checking account. What's not to love?
Open your P1FCU checking account at p1fcu.org and start earning today.
Too many politicians are too busy fighting each other, but I just want to get things done to make people's lives better. I'm Maria Cantwell. I led a bipartisan initiative to bring computer chip manufacturing and other supply chains back to America, generating billions in private sector investment to make the chips that run our cars, our appliances, and even our farm equipment, creating jobs, boosting our competitiveness, and lowering costs. It's beginning to work. That's why I approve this message.
If you're ready for a new kitchen and bathroom design that fits your needs and your style, come into Skelton's for the grand opening of our all-new design center. For a limited time, get 3 hours of free design consultation with any purchase. Let our experts design the perfect style and functionality of your new room from our assortment of cabinets, countertops, backsplash, hardware, and fixtures. And save on Karastan carpet, LVP, and waterproof flooring during National Karastan Month. It's the grand opening of Skelton's Design Center, going on now.
Happy anniversary from McVeigh Brothers. For over 90 years, our family has been remodeling homes in eastern Washington and northern Idaho. We sell the very best products in composition and metal roofing, the energy-efficient Coeur d'Alene windows, and our unlimited selection of maintenance-free siding options. And during our anniversary sale, you can choose up to $2,500 off on select packages, or 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 6 months. At McVeigh Brothers, we're always working for you.
Friday night, the love triangle that ended in murder.
He knew how to charm a lady.
She was a wonderful mother.
And then it wasn't too much later that Amanda came into the picture.
It was a mess, yes.
But that's not even the most shocking part of the story.
They found Grant Hayes at 2:30 in the morning buying reciprocating saw. Wow.
And the prison interview.
What happened that night?
All new 2020, Friday night at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Well, coming up tonight on Nightside, the 2024 Nobel Prize in Chemistry has been awarded to a University of Washington biochemist. The discoveries the Seattle native has made and how they could help cure cancer. All right, Seahawks not doing great here, Julian. They need a big second half rally against the 49ers.
Yeah, down double figures. It's going to be tough. Not out of it yet, though.
All right, we'll see you all hopefully for Nightside at 11, including some of those Seahawks highlights.